Welcome. Let's learn to paint this simple watercolor painting with Ayush Paper. Hi everyone, my name is Aishwarya. I'm a self-taught artist from India and my Instagram handle is autogrammer.ash. So without much ado, let's get started. For the art material, I'm going to use watercolor paper from Ayush. It's 270 GSM 100% cotton and this is a A5 sheet. And for brushes, I'm going to use round brush size 12, round brush size 8 and round brush size 1. You can use any brands, whichever you're comfortable with. For paints, I'm going to use Camlin Artist Grade Watercolor Cakes. You can use any brand. We need 2 jars of water, white gel pen, Brewster's acrylic color for moon, any round shape lid, masking tape and tissue paper. I am going to use wet on wet technique to do a gradient wash. If you are an absolutely beginner, you can refer to my first video where I talk about different watercolor technique in detail. After applying equal coat of water, I'm going to take little bit of cerulean blue and cobalt blues mixture and start from the bottom of the paper. As you can see, I am using a lighter tone of the blue at the bottom. I always start with the lighter tones and then move on to the darker tones. I'm just applying the paint in very random strokes as this will be the base. You don't need an even coat of paint, so I'm just randomly applying the paints. For the next layer, I'm adding a bit of cobalt blue and cerulean blue in a darker tone. And blending with the lighter tone. And just applying till the end and in the edges so that I can highlight in the middle. I'm increasing the tone value of the blue as I am painting the top portion. Apply a bit of cobalt blue and ultramarine blue at the top of the painting. As you can see, I'm doing a random strokes to get that aesthetic feel. So I'm randomly applying the paints. Now I'm going to use the lifting technique to highlight the middle of the painting where we are going to paint the moon. If you are not familiar with this technique, kindly check out my previous video where I talk about these kind of technique in details. I'm just applying the cerulean blue and just blending the sky. I'm taking a bit of ultramarine blue and cobalt blue and giving a coat at the top to get more vibrancy. Blending is easier when it is wet, so try to blend the sky while the paints are still wet. Let it dry for some time. Once it's dried, I'm going to give one more coat. For this, I am going to use ultramarine blue and a bit of indigo. This will help you to get dark tone of blue, and I'm applying at the top portion. Blend it well with the sky. I'm going to use little bit of cobalt blue and blend it well. So basically I am giving a second layer, but I started from the dark tone to the lighter tones. And now I'm going to use my size 1 brush. I am taking ultramarine blue. I am going to start to paint the pines now. I'm gonna draw a line, straight line in the middle. So that's my pine. Apply straight lines both the directions. I applied in a way that in the middle it's a bit longer one, and while it is going in the sides it's shorter ones, so that you get that perspective. Now I am going to add the leaves. So I'm just randomly applying alternative strokes. If you are familiar with a different technique to do pines, you are free to use that. This is my easy technique to paint pines. As this is a pine forest, it's crowded, so I'm adding a bit of indigo at the end of the pine to get that dark tone. I'm going to repeat the same in the opposite direction. So I have zoomed in. So so that you can see how I do the trees. As you can see, I'm randomly applying. Once you complete the both sides, I am going to apply the paint below the pines. I am using the combination of indigo and ultramarine blue to fill the mountain. I'm just lifting the paint in the middle to get that light and shadow effect. I'm taking ultramarine blue. Now I'm taking indigo and a bit of ultramarine blue to get that dark tone and applying below the first layer. Repeat the same in the opposite. Fill in. So I'm just taking the ultramarine and fill the gap. Now I'm going to take the indigo and highlight the below. So you can see there is a light blue in the top and the dark blue in the bottom. So it gives a different effect. Let it dry for a few minutes. Once it's dry, I'm going to start with the moon. For this, I'm going to sketch the round shape using the lid and white gel pen. I'm not doing the full moon, I'm just doing the half moon above the pine. Now I'm going to use Bristol's acrylic color white to do the moon. White acrylic has more pigments than white watercolors, so that's why we are using white acrylic instead of white watercolor. It gives you more vibrancy. Apply the white inside the circle we have already drawn. So I'm just starting with the edges. So I'm just randomly applying the brush. I created a circle and then I'm just leaving behind few blues to get that effect. If you are not familiar with, or if you're scared to try this, you can just fill in that circle with white. You don't need to do these spaces or detailing. You can just paint the whole area of white. While painting the moon, make sure that it doesn't go outside the circle or between the pines. Make sure it is highlighted. So you can take your sweet time and do this. I'm going to add a bit of cerulean blue here and there. You can skip this detailing part if you are not comfortable. So I'm just highlighting the cerulean blue, and I'm just taking the water and blending it with the white. Apply white and highlight those areas. I'm applying a little more blue here and there, and I'm going to blend it with the white. So you are free to experiment with this type of detailing. Add a little bit of blue and then mix it with white. This is purely on random basis. I think my moon is good to go. Now moving on, I am going to add the final layer to the painting. For this I am going to use indigo and bit of violet, and I'm adding a layer at the bottom. So if you can see, it looks beautiful, the light blue and then dark and the darkest. Let's add some stars now. For this I'm using acrylic color, make it into a good consistency and use splattering technique. And for bigger stars I'm using Sakura gel pen and creating random stars here and there. And that's it. Now it's time to peel off the masking tape. Take it very slowly. We need the clean edges, so take your time and peel it off properly. So that's it. We have completed the painting. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do subscribe Ayush Paper channel for more.